The Customizable DatePicker Library is a versatile and highly customizable date picker component for Android applications. It offers extensive customization options, allowing developers to highlight specific dates, adjust the user interface to match their app's theme, and set flexible date ranges. The library supports gesture navigation for intuitive month switching and is designed for easy integration, making it an excellent choice for enhancing date selection functionality in Android projects. In this video, I will be showing you how to integrate this library into your Android project and implement the date picker. It is fairly simple. Let's go for it. To import the library into your project, you will need to do a couple of steps. Go to the GitHub project, which is available in this video description. The documentation is easy to understand, and you can do it without the help of this video. Anyway, you can see the Jetpack repo link there, copy and paste it as it is. Note that my project uses Kotlin-based Gradle script. The one for you shall be appropriately chosen. You also need to make sure that the Jetpack is included in the settings Gradle. If not, you need to include it as well. We have the project's main activity here. The documentation clearly provides information about all the functions and the procedure to show the date picker. This library offers a ton of customization. The customizations can be done by passing custom drawables, which you can customize any way you want. The date picker can be invoked using the show method. It takes 2 parameters and 4 more parameters which are optional. Let me create a function for the button which will show the date picker when it is clicked. You will need to instantiate the date picker object from the Customizable Date Picker class. Using the show method, the date picker can be shown. It is just that simple. It takes 2 parameters, the context and the date, which needs to be highlighted in the date picker when it pops up. You will need to follow the syntax for the date, which is separate by hyphen. You cannot use a different format. The function accepts additional 4 parameters, which we will talk about in this video later. Let's run it. You can see we just typed 2 lines of code for the date picker. Here it is. But this date picker doesn't do anything. It is not usable. In order to use it, we need to get the selected date, which is also easily accessible from the date picker object. Before that, let us check what other parameters does it have to offer. You can see there is a display view, which is basically a text view or anything with a text, which will automatically get updated with date when the date is picked. The offset is the minimum limit for the date if you want to restrict choosing past dates, and the upper limit is like the name say, upper limit for the date picker, if you want to restrict future date selection. The last parameter is a lambda function, which runs after the date has been selected, which is ideal to do tasks after selecting the date. Now the text view will be updated with the selected date. Let us now show a toast message with the selected date when the date is selected. In order to do that, we will pass the toast message inside a trailing lambda function, which is basically a lambda function, which is the last parameter of a function, can be passed outside the parenthesis, like this. The date can be accessed using the getSelectedDate method. Now the toast message shows the date. The library provides a built-in method which returns today's date. We can pass it to the show function as the date it should show when it pops up. You can see the days past 7, which is today, is disabled, because by default the upper limit for the date selection is today's date. You can override it by passing another value for upper limit. Let us make the calendar to show up with the last selected date. In order to do that, we just need to store the last selected date and pass it on to the show function. In the trailing lambda, we will update the last selected date with the new date. Now the calendar will pop up with the last selected date every time. If there's no last selected date, it is today's date. Now let's customize the calendar. In order to customize it, you will need to modify the different customizable options for the date picker from the object class, Custom Calendar Resources. This class cannot be instantiated, which means the settings you modify will be available throughout the app. You don't want to change it in every activity. The customization options are endless. You can do almost everything. Everything is provided in the documentation in easily understandable way. I will create a scope of the custom calendar resources and modify the parameters. The set title will set a custom title on top of the date picker. You can utilize it to show a hint or some text which will say the purpose of the date picker. You can even change the font, set the font color of the title. These settings will persist throughout the app unless you change it. It supports gesture-based month switching. You just need to swipe right or left to switch months. If you don't want this feature, you can turn it off in Custom Calendar Resources. The library also comes with a Date Manager class, which lets you do some date-based operations easily. It has two methods, today and format date. The today method returns today's date while the format date formats a given date into another format. You can have endless number of customization with this. This library lets you customize each and everything. If you don't wish to customize, the default date picker will work for you.